good morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending when you're watching. Jack's just run off. Jack, come here. Up. Today, here's Jack. Me and Jack's going to show you how we installed our solar setup.
Retro renovations do not go away.
So what we got today is a complete kit. Sorry about the camera there. We got one intelligent PWM solar control charger. You can get MPPT versions. This will do the job for what we want. We're not demanding a lot of power, we're not using a lot of power here. I think the highest we're going to use is 230 watts, so we're not very demanding. I will turn the camera and show you what we got. I've got two 110 amp hour leisure batteries. We're going to link these two together. We're going to see how the power goes. Probably will go up to 3. I don't think we're going to need 4. Obviously the more you got, the less strain on the batteries, but like I say, we're not using a great deal. 110 watt solar panel, which is from OnePlus. For this, obviously, we just mentioned the controller, leads that go down to the battery. The kit itself comes with this one, which is connects into your solar there. So that's the back of the solar panel. They come off your solar panel, just up here. And they run in there, and you can run that to your controller. Because I'm going to be putting the solar out into the workshop, I ordered a 5-meter extension cable so that I can put the controller into the cabin here, where I'm going to situate the batteries. And that is Jack dropping the ball for me. There you go, boy. That's his helping. Entertainment. Also got, it's upside down, a 1500 watt inverter with the specs, 2 power points, 4 USB and 2 cigarette style switches. The cable I'm crossing over the batteries with, brand new terminals, thick car battery cable. So let's put it together. So I've just undone those to clear that. Now I'm going to snip the appropriate end off and get them in there. You don't want to be cutting any of the cable, just the outer casing. True Blue Peter fashion is what I did earlier. Now, a little simple trick or tip. Camera focuses. There's a P on this one and an N for the negative. I didn't notice until after I'd done it, so numpty here had to do it twice. So look out for P's and N's on metalwork. But yeah, as you can see, all done up really tight. let's get it on the batteries. When you purchase your batteries new, you get these little protective covers. Just lift that up, and very importantly, make sure you take the bungs out the ends. Beware for acid splash. Okay, it's a little bit dark because we're just on the edge of the cupboard here, but we got this battery number 1. The negative is now crossed over to the negative on that battery, and positive to positive on this battery, and this with an inline fuse is the positive that's going out through the back of the cupboard just up there, and on this battery the negative, and these are the main battery feed to the solar controller, which, as you can see, are just here. I'm going to run them up the wall now and put them up here. So I've now mounted the solar controller on a beam, and as you can see, plus to plus, negative to negative. Make sure they're in good and solid. There's a bit of movement in that one, so I will redo that. There's no movement in that one, so I'll just redo this one now. The two batteries combined are showing 12.5, so you could do a charge, and that will charge it up to 13.7 and then switch off. 12.6 is when it will cut off the load to outgoing DC. My good friend John has just been over, and we've put the solar panel up. So it is inside, but it's like a greenhouse in here, so I'm pretty confident about that. If I need to put it outside, I will do. As you can see, the workshop is still dire, it's a mess. This is this winter's project. Watch this space. But the solar panel's up, and we're going to go and connect it inside now. Okay, so to recap, 210 amp hour batteries are in, and they are crossed over, and the negative on this one, the positive on that one, are going up to my controller, which is through here, and the solar is now coming from the roof of the workshop through and into here, and as you can see, the sun is shining, solar panels going in, and it's giving it a charge. I've got it to cut off at 13.7, and it will cut off if the batteries drop down to 12.6 on the direct load, but I'm not expecting that. So the only thing I'm left to do now is I'm going to run some lighting 12 volt direct into this section. But that's it for our control at the moment. As you can see, it's going up and down. It's cloudy here today. As the cloud brightens up, there it goes, 12.9, and just flick to the top there, see, 12.9 is flicking up, and 12.8 when the cloud goes over. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. Now for the inverter, that's a little bit different. I've mounted it on the wall, and what I've done is I've left a space, so I've mounted it on 2 little bits of timber just to keep it away from the wall. As you can see, the heat's going to come through there, and there's adequate, it can breathe round. Now I'm going to run it along, down under this unit and along. Sorry for the shakiness of the video. In this cupboard, I've got a hole there to go through, and I've drilled holes to vent the battery as well. It will vent out. I've never known a battery need much more vent than that. That's adequate. And so I'm going to run that up through. Now the inverter is supplied with crocodile clips, which, speaking of other people, generally if they don't move, people are very happy with them. Obviously they come in this end, and they only give you barely a foot, which would be ideal if your inverter was on the ground, but mine's not, and the reason why mine's not is because we got Jack, and if he ever did do a naughty in the house, I don't want a fire. So I say house, I mean the workshop now. So I'm going to snip this and I'm going to extend it. Now I've got, this is an old kettle lead. I'm going to snip the end there. I'm going to take the plug off and I'm going to use this thick cable. Now obviously this cable is adequate for a household kettle, and a household kettle can be up to 1000 watt, 800 watt, 1000 watt. I'm only ever going to be pushing to 300 watt. I've not got anything here that I'm going to use the inverter for heavy power tools and so on. I've got mostly cordless like this. I'll charge, and if it is something I want a bit more juice from, then I will fire up the generator. So this is just purely up to 300 watt, but the inverter itself is a 1500 watt inverter. So I could in theory run the grinder and that off there, which I will try at some point and see how it goes. And the prize, which I'm looking forward to firing up soon, this is a proper Bentley cool bag. I'm going to leave that there. This runs off a little 12 volt adapter I've got there. There's the fan and quite a big coolant sink on it. I'm looking forward to having a nice cold can from there. And obviously I'm going to leave this here, just there on the side next to the inverter there. So that's going to work from there. That's going to drop down, go into the battery bank. I'm just going to extend that cable now, and I can run an extension lead from there over to the kitchen area, so when we come we can use the washing machine, which is 230 watts. There's easier ways to do this. If you get a pair of wire cutters that have the plastic shrouding remover, you can go and pull off. I have got a set, I don't know where they are. So for today, just gentle snips. There we go. Now some of you might have said when I was using the kettle lead, hang on, that's 3 core, that's single core. It is 3 core, but I intend to make it 1. So that's the best upcycling I can do for the moment. All in all, a good day's work. So that shed some light on the situation. That's working. I'm pleased with that. The inverter is very noisy, as you can hear. So I've got the cigarette light adapter in at the moment, and Bentley call box is humming away. Obviously I've got plug sockets as well if I need them. The wiring's all done. I've just got to tidy it up, but it's all working. And over here, charge control unit. I've put a 2 amp fuse in to that light because it's DC, so anything you do DC, try and put an inline fuse in. So your direct current, which is DC for lights and so on, comes out of that one. Mains battery and the solar's going in, and it's been charging quite well today considering it's a cloudy day. I'm quite pleased with that. Like I say, now the inverter's humming away, and if I don't want the noise, Just switch it off. It's done. That's interesting. So, just found out that the cigarette lighters continue working when you switch it off. That's interesting. I'll have to see if the USB ports are live as well. So if I want the fridge on, then I can actually leave this off because it's drawing current through. Good to know. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and see you on the next one.
Thank you for watching.
To keep up to date with our adventures, subscribe now.
If you would like to support us in making our videos, why not support us through Patreon?
Leave your feedback below. We want to hear from you.
See you on the next one.